So, right. Well, a very warm welcome to everyone who is attending the webinar on Study in USA with the Albertus Magnus College. We are delighted to have you all here and excited to bring you insightful information and guidance to help you navigate your higher education journey in the United States. It is a pleasure to introduce to our esteemed speakers from Albertus Magnus College, Ms. Brittany Bauch, Assistant Director of Admissions and Coordinator of International Admission. With nearly a decade of experience in higher education, she brings a wealth of knowledge in admission, international student support, a cross-functional student service. Her expertise will provide you a deep dive into the application visa process for international students. Mr. Chayan Sharma, Recruitment Manager with a background of journalism and mass communication, a strong foothold in marketing and student recruitment. Mr. Sharma specializes in connecting with the right student with right academic opportunities. He is passionate about helping students find the best fit for their future. We are truly honored to have you both here with us today. We are recording this session so that the students can hear in case those who have not joined in. Before we start, a few general rules for all of us who are attending the webinar. Please keep your microphones on mute during the presentation to avoid background noises. If you're having any question during the session, feel free to drop them in the chat box. We will have a dedicated question answer segment at the end. We encourage you to participate actively, respectfully throughout the session. Turning your camera on is optional, but helps create a more engaging environment. If you have any technical problem, please message us and we can directly chat with you for assistance. So over to you, Brittany or Chayan, whoever want to start. And thank you for joining us.
Great. Well, thank you so much. I am going to share my screen so that we have some slides as we go through the information today. All right, so Albertus Magnus College is a unique institution. I will once again state that my name is Brittany Bauch, Assistant Director of Admissions and Coordinator of International Admissions, and I want to give you some information about the school itself, the application process, scholarship information, and then of course the I-20 and visa process as well. But if you were on our campus today, you would see that the school has a unique mix of older architecture as well as open green areas where students can relax and hang out in between courses. And then our newest being our contemplative garden, which was inputted during COVID. It's a great place for our students to reflect and reground in between courses. And we also have newer updated facilities like the Hubert Campus Center, which houses what I like to call our campus living room. It's got nice couches, fireplace lounge. In this building is our main dining hall, our game room, our bookstore. There's always something going on. And up at the top deck, we actually have an outdoor fire pit as well, where you can make s'mores and hang out with other students. So the campus has a lot of different things going on. And if you were to walk across the campus on a physical tour, you would see that there's no one perfect way to describe the campus itself. But we have been recognized by a lot of different organizations. We're not going to go into detail about all of them today, but I will highlight my personal favorite. We have once again been recognized as a College of International Distinction, and this is due to our dedication to high-impact educational practices, which means we've excelled in each of these 4 areas, having engaged students, great teaching, vibrant communities, and successful outcomes, which really are the 4 main areas that we look at when we go through the college search process. We've also been specifically recognized for our support for our international students. Now, we're constantly building, constantly expanding, always looking at the future of our students, adding new buildings and new programs. And with that, I will say that Albertus Magnus College was actually founded in the 1920s. by the Dominican Sisters of Peace. Back in the 1920s, there were other schools in the area. For example, Yale University is just a mile down the road, but they were not accepting women into their institutions. So the school was originally founded to serve a local community need, and the first graduating class was about 12 females. Then in the 1980s, we opened our doors to males, and now we've evolved into the college that it is today. So we are celebrating 100 years of success this year. This is our centennial. And with that, we are going to be doing a lot of exciting stuff on campus, including we just received a $3.1 million grant from the state of Connecticut's Community Impact Fund, allowing us to enhance and renovate our soccer, lacrosse, and field hockey field, as well as the Ralph Walker skating rink that our men's and women's ice hockey teams use. But when looking at Albertus by the numbers, we have an overall enrollment of about 1,300, which I know is just a number to you. So the best way I could describe that is on a given day, if our students are walking across campus from their residence hall to class, the people that they pass, whether they're other students, faculty, or staff, know their name, know their face. It is a very small, close-knit, family-like environment here. And if you were to walk across our campus, even the president of the school, Dr. Camille, would stop you and ask you how you're doing in your classes. So it is very much so a family away from your home. And we do have an average class size of 15. We don't have lecture halls, so you would never be sitting in a course of 100 to 300 students where the professor has no idea if you're there or not. Our largest class is about 30 students, and our smallest class has been about 5 students, depending on what year and what course it is. Our science labs can seat about 10 students at a time. So it's very, very one-on-one and individualized attention, and we have a 17-to-1 faculty to student ratio. So at the core of everything, our Falcons are known and known well. And I say one of the best things that Albertus offers is personal connections. And what's great is that we have over 50 different programs of study at the undergraduate level, and all of the faculty have real-world experience. So whoever's standing in front of you teaching you has worked or is still currently working in that field. And so you can see on the screen our different undergraduate programs. We have a little bit of everything, programs in the arts, sciences, business, healthcare, education. We also have unique areas that are hard to find, like game and computer arts. We're the only school in the state of Connecticut to offer a master's in art therapy. But in terms of STEM-based programs, we do have social media, biology, chemistry, and mathematics, which allows students to stay a little bit longer with their OPT opportunities. But our newest program on campus is nursing, and our most popular programs are business, biology, chemistry, computer information systems, and cybersecurity. But since I can't talk about all of them, I will highlight one for you today. And our newest program, being nursing, included that we built brand new simulation labs on our campus. So we have mid-fidelity and high-fidelity mannequins. These mannequins have the ability to do just about everything that a human body can do. They can talk, move, and in fact, give birth. So we have a full-size adult male, a full-size adult female that gives birth, a roughly 7-year-old child, and an infant as well. So we can program their eyes to be bloodshot, to be jaundice. They can do just about anything that a human body can do. So our students actually spend over 100 hours in the simulation labs, encountering all different patients and working out those nerves with their faculty before they go into their clinical rotations. And their clinicals are built into the program of study, and they'll actually do over 700 hours at local hospitals and facilities as part of the program. Now, we also have over 12 different master's programs at the school. And like I said, we offer some unique ones, but the only program right now that a student can come and study on a visa within the graduate programs itself is going to be the Master's of Business Administration. And that is because a lot of these programs have a lot of online courses, so they could actually be done from your current country, but they have to be over 51% in person for CVIS to recognize the program and issue a visa for it. So the only one that students can actually come and study on at this point in time is the MBA program. But we do offer some fast-track study options for students that are pursuing their bachelor's at the institution and would like to continue and get their master's. And these programs are fantastic because it saves you a year of your life, a year of tuition, gets you out into the job force a year earlier, and statistically earning a higher starting salary in that first job. So we call them 4+1 programs or 5-year programs because you get your bachelor's degree in 4 years and you get your master's degree in 1 additional year instead of the traditional 2-year time frame. And we do offer these in our MBA, accounting, criminal justice, healthcare administration, human services, and instructional design and learning technology. And what's great is if you come to Albertus for your undergraduate program, you actually do get a stipend off of the tuition for the graduate program being an Albertus alum. But I could talk your ear off about numbers, and I don't mind doing that. But I think one of the most important things I could tell you today about the institution is that 98% of our students are in a full-time job or continuing their education within 6 months of graduation, which is huge because the national average for both public and private institutions right now is about 84%. So this is significantly higher, which means not every student chooses to come to Albertus, but those that do are successful. They're getting out and getting into a job. And the organizations that we have Albertus graduates at right now are up on the screen. Of course, there's a long listing for each of the programs, but some of those bigger name places that you might be used to hearing, Amazon, Apple, the FBI, ESPN, Disney World, just to name a few. So we actually help students get placed into their jobs as well. We have an entire career and professional development office that will assist students with internships, do career advising and counseling. They'll do career testing as well to help students figure out what career path might be best for them. And they'll actually bring employers to our campus to network and interview students while they're still students. So a lot of our students are actually offered full-time jobs before they complete their degree. And this office also oversees our study abroad programs, and we have about 19 different countries that our students could study at for the same cost of coming to Albertus. But when talking about return on investment, we could talk all day about job placement. However, students are only in class for an average of 15 hours a week in college, which means if a student's sleeping about 8 hours a night every night, that's about 112 hours of free time a week that student's awake and not in class. So it's really important to talk about what you can do outside of the classroom as well, as that's a huge portion of your college experience. And Albertus Magnus College is located in New Haven, Connecticut, which is right in between New York City and Boston. It's actually a quick train ride into both locations, and our students can use the Yale shuttle system for free. So it's about an 8-minute shuttle ride over to the train station, and then about an hour and a half into New York City by train, about 2.5 into Boston. Students will go for the day, for the weekend, or even do internships in those areas. And speaking of, we do have a lot of different ways that students can travel. So the major airports that are nearby are LaGuardia and JFK. This is where most of our students will fly into in terms of international flights. And then there is a shuttle system to get students from those airports to our campus. But we do also see some students that will fly into Boston Logan as well. Now, New Haven itself has a lot to offer. We have concert venues, theaters, museums, art galleries. There's a lot to do right around campus. In fact, it's a college city. So we are not the only school here. There are 5 other institutions within a 15-minute radius that are all using New Haven as their backyard. So Albertus Magnus College gives students that small, close-knit family feel where they're known and known well and really cared for. But you have access to thousands of college students from all over. We have nice shopping areas in downtown New Haven. We're also known for our pizza, home to world famous Frank Pepe's Pizza, but there's a lot of rivalry pizza places. We also are where the original hamburger was invented in the United States. Fun fact, they still serve it like they originally did, which is on toast and with no condiments. So if you go in there and ask for ketchup, they will actually yell at you and tell you to leave. They still cook it like they originally did, and that's that. And they cook them in these old machines that you can see up on the right-hand side. They actually cook vertically. So a very unique and staple thing to check out when in the area. Right around our campus, we have East Rock and West Rock, so great hiking venues for students. And we have the beach, and this is all within a 10 to 15 minute radius. So there's a lot for students to do right around campus. And then on campus, we have clubs and organizations, a lot of community service opportunities, and campus-wide activities. There's always something going on. It is really hard to be bored. We have big campus-wide events. For example, we just had a carnival recently. We had midnight breakfast. We also recently had free massages on campus. There's always something going on. But speaking of, we do offer athletics, and we are Division III for athletics. We have quite a few different teams, and they're all listed on there, but we also have some club sports and intramural sports as well. And then in terms of what our Falcon body actually looks like, we've actually been recognized as New England's most diverse Catholic college, and we take great pride in this. No one comes even close to us in the numbers, and we were the first to be recognized as a Hispanic serving institution. We're currently at 55% students of color, 31% Hispanic, and interestingly enough, 47% of our students are first generation, meaning they're the first person in their family to go to college. So there's no cookie cutter version of what our students are like. We have over 30 different countries represented on campus as well. We have students coming from all over the world and a very large community for our international students. So speaking of, a lot of our international students do live on campus. And I have to tell you, Albertus has very unique housing options. So we only have one building that's traditional style, which is a room and a common bathroom at the end of the hall. All of our other buildings are actually mansion-style housing. They're old homes that were purchased over time, and back in the 1920s, it was the wealthy and the elite that owned these properties. So they're very, very unique. But for our students, once they get here, it is free laundry and free parking if a student has a car, which is always nice. But just to give you an idea, the mansions have very unique architecture both on the outsides of the buildings and on the insides. There's no one way to describe them. They're all entirely different and unique. But to give you an idea, up on the screen, I'm showing you all of our different residence halls. So Dominican Hall is that traditional style. McAuliffe, Nyland, Salisbury, and Siena are the mansions. And then we also have apartments as well for students that prefer to have that going home feeling. They're right down the road. Now, campus is very safe. We actually do 24/7 patrol of our campus at all times. We have at least 3 officers on duty. There's cameras all across the campus too. And we have a smartphone app for our students where they can actually have someone watch them walk. So if they're in downtown New Haven and they want to request that somebody watch them walk, it'll actually pull up on that person's device as like a GPS where they're the dot moving, and it gives them an ETA of how long it should take them to walk from point A to point B. So there's a lot of great features on the campus. But when applying to Albertus, we are trying to simplify the application process as much as we can. We do have our own Albertus application, which is located right on our website, albertus.edu. We also will accept the common application, either or. It doesn't make a difference to us. There is traditionally a $100 application fee for international students applying to Albertus Magnus College. However, with working with Eduvate, you do not have to pay that application fee, which is fantastic. So it saves you $100 and you can apply for free. We do require transcripts from every school that you've attended. So these would be the secondary education schools or high school level schools if you're coming straight from a secondary education, or all of your college transcripts as well if you're transferring from a college or university. We do typically require a NACES evaluation to be conducted for our students. However, for students that are applying through Eduvate and are coming from a secondary education level or a high school level education, we will waive the NACES evaluation. For students that are coming from a collegiate environment, so from a university or college with bachelor degree credits or associate degree credits, we do still require a NACES evaluation because in order to get course credit at the institution when transferring in, we do need a course-by-course evaluation. Unless the student is already in the US and is studying at a US school with a US transcript. And then lastly, we do require an English language exam score. Now, if the student is attending school where the medium of instruction is English, we can accept a letter stating that the medium of instruction is English to waive that. But if not, we will need one of these exams: the TOEFL, Duolingo, IELTS, SAT, ACT, or Pearson's. And our minimum requirements are up on the screen as well. The Duolingo is the most common that we receive. However, like I said, if a student has attended a school where the medium of instruction was English, we can accept a letter to waive that requirement. Now, once a student has applied and been accepted and they decide that they would like to attend the institution, we begin the I-20 process. We actually have an entire division on our campus for international students. So I work with students through the application process and assist with the I-20 process. And then we also have our coordinator for international student services and engagement, who works with our students throughout their 4 years here or for the duration of their time in the country at the institution. This person's entire job is to assist our international students with every need that they have. So they will assist with the I-20 process and the visa. They'll also help with finding on-campus employment and CPT and OPT opportunities when we get to that point. Now, when students apply, they are automatically considered for our scholarships. There is no additional application. The moment a student is accepted, they will find out which merit scholarship they received. And this is based on their academics, so this is why we're able to award it right at acceptance. These scholarships range from $18,000 to $32,000. These are annual awards, so once a student receives it, they do get it every year for the 4 undergraduate years, or the remainder of their program of study. We also have some additional scholarships for students that apply into our honors program and are accepted into the honors program. There's an additional $2,000 scholarship, which again is annual. It is renewable for every year that a student is in the honors program. And if a student is coming from a Catholic school, there's an additional $4,000 scholarship, which is also annual, so this will be renewed every year. Once a student is on campus, there is the opportunity to receive additional scholarships for the remaining years. These are called our St. Dominic Awards, and they're awarded by getting involved. So a student can get involved in student leadership, music, so by either joining the music club or the choir, esports, so if a student likes video games, there's actually a scholarship for joining our esports club team. And then lastly, community service. If a student does at least 10 hours of community service during the duration of their first year on campus, they can receive an additional award for that. The St. Dominic Awards are $1,000, and a student can receive up to 3 of them. So they can receive up to $3,000 in scholarship during their first year, which will be renewable for each of the remaining years. Now, when looking at the cost of attendance, for students that are living off campus, we would require the tuition and fees. For students that are living on campus in our residence halls, we would also require room and board. Now, for students that are living on campus in our residence halls, they will receive an additional $4,000 residential award from our financial aid department to help cut the cost of room and board down to be more comparable to what it would be if you lived off campus and found your own rent. So there is a benefit to living on campus in terms of getting an extra $4,000 award from the financial aid office. And if a student does choose to attend Albertus and completes their degree in a traditional 4-year time frame, they can expect to receive $1,925 back to them their senior year that they can do whatever they'd like with. I personally have never heard of a school giving money back to a student, but I think it goes to show you the culture of Albertus and how much they really do care about their students. But if you didn't catch on yet, the reason why it's $1,925 is because we were founded in 1925. So in recognition of our centennial, Dr. Camille, the president of the institution, has decided to award all of the students $1,925 if they complete their degree in the traditional time frame. So at this point, I'll open it up to questions and feel free to ask anything at all that I may not have covered.
All right. Thank you so much, Brittany. It was wonderful, great session. Great to know all the information that you've shared about scholarship, the process, documentation, and the additional scholarships that you have for housing, what kind of accommodation you have. It's wonderful. It's really insightful. I guess now, if anybody has any question, can definitely put it in the chat box. We'll take one at a time, and Brittany will be able to answer. There's one question from Aline. Uh, Please, I want to know more about the accommodation.
Sure. So our residence halls, we do place all of our first year students, so their first year on campus in Dominican Hall, which is the traditional style residence hall. So this is double occupancy in one room, so you would have a roommate, and it is a shared bathroom on the floor. The reason why we do this is because statistically, students that live in traditional style residence halls actually have a better experience during their first year on campus because they get to know all the other incoming students really well. So it's a very close-knit environment where all of the students are living together, and it helps form those bonds and those friendships that then withstand the rest of the time. But you can request your own roommate as well, and there's a whole process for that. And then after that first year, students will branch off into our smaller housing facilities, which are the mansions, which again are homey, right? So each room is entirely different. The setup is entirely different. There's unique bathrooms placed throughout the home because these were old mansions back in the day. There's fireplaces all over. In fact, our office, the admissions office, is in one of the old mansions. And in our visitor center is a fireplace. And in some of our offices are bathrooms. So each building is entirely different, but they're very unique and very homey. And then we have the apartments, which would be single rooms and a full style kitchen where you can cook. Of course, each of the mansions also has a full kitchen as well. So some of our students prefer to cook their own food, but we do have a wide variety of food in the main dining hall as well. And we have different stations, and everything is labeled. So for students that have certain dietary restrictions, all of that is labeled as well.
Right, thank you. There's one more question from Levin. Is the scholarship for international students partial or full?
Great question. So we do not have any full tuition scholarships. They are partial scholarships. But if you took a look, our highest scholarship right at acceptance is 32,000. And our tuition right now is about just under 43,000. So that's a majority of the tuition just right there. And then there's additional scholarships that you could receive as well. So it is fairly generous considering what the cost of tuition is, but it is not a full tuition scholarship.
Right, thank you. We have one more question from Andrew. Which kind of scholarship do you offer for international? It's a similar question. And what about do you offer PhDs for international students? If not, do you have any connection with other instructions? Yeah.
So all of our international students are considered for the same scholarships as our domestic students. So you are not withheld any scholarships. So you are considered just the same. So every scholarship that you're eligible for, you will receive. And so we have our merit scholarships, which is based on your academic merit. So how well you performed in your school up until that point in time. So the better you do in your studies, the more money you receive. We also have a scholarship for being in our honors program, a scholarship if you're coming from a Catholic school, and scholarships for getting involved on campus, and then an extra award for living on campus too, to help cut the cost of housing down. We do not offer any PhD programs on our campus. However, we do have affiliation agreements. So for programs that we do not offer here, we have affiliations with other institutions. For example, students from our biology program, which is a popular one for our international students because it is a STEM-based program, so you can stay in the country for another 3 years working. We have students that will go on and study with their doctorate in physical therapy at Dominican University. So that's just one example.
All right, we have more questions for you, Brittany. Hafani is asking, is there anything related to BCA, like Bachelor's in Computer Applications?
Yes, so we have computer information systems with a track in web and app development, another track in cybersecurity. We have an entire separate program for cybersecurity as well. It's its own standalone major. We also have social media and game and computer arts. But I would say computer information systems is going to be the most similar. And then there is a standalone program for cybersecurity, which is becoming a growing industry.
Thank you. There's a question from Abdul Kader. Do we need English proficiency test? Or if we graduate from an English-speaking country like India, it's not needed. Something.
So we do have an English proficiency requirement. It's not our requirement, it's the Department of Homeland Security's requirement for the I-20 and visa process. So we do require an English language test, or we can accept a letter if the medium of instruction from your institution was English. So if your courses were taught in English, we can accept a letter for in place of that. We can also, if you really are against taking a test, we can do an interview with you, and I'm allowed to sign off that your English is proficient.
What are the other courses available for masters? This question is from Deepika.
Yeah, so there's 12 different master's programs at the institution and a lot of affiliation agreements with other schools. But the only program that we issue visas for at the master's level right now is our MBA program. So if you're looking to come and study in the country at the graduate level, the only program you could receive a visa for would be the MBA program. And that is simply due to the amount of in-person work versus online work. It's a restriction through CBIS. However, we do have over 12 different programs. So if you are studying at the undergrad level first and then continuing on, there are a lot of different programs inclusive of healthcare management, accounting, criminal justice, instructional design and learning technology, education, art therapy. There's a lot.
All right, thank you. Good evening, Kalingarwa, Joyce. Thank you so much for appreciating the presentation given by Brittany. She's again asking about the fully funded scholarship, and if you can answer, I guess we have a partial scholarship for this.
Yep, so it is a partial scholarship, not a fully funded scholarship, and there's no additional application. So the requirement is just for you to submit your application and your transcript. So it's going to be based on how well you did in your courses.
We have a question from Alina again. She's from Ghana, and I want you to elaborate more on international application. I guess the application process she's wanting to know.
Sure. So the application is located right on our website, albertus.edu. We are a little unique in the sense that we have traditional undergraduate, and then we have another office called PGS, Postgraduate Studies, which does accelerated adult undergraduate programs that are done in a faster time frame and can be done online. And they also oversee our master's programs. So we often have students that will fill out the wrong application because that's a little unique and different. So traditionally, you're going to want to fill out the traditional undergraduate application unless you're applying for a master's program, and then you'd want to fill out the graduate application. It is right on our website. We also do accept the common application. So if you're familiar with the common application, if you've completed it, if you're applying to other schools, it's easy to add us in as another school that you're applying to. We'll accept either or. There is a $100 application fee. However, with working with Eduvate, that is waived for you. So when you're going through the application process, we'll actually waive that application fee for you. So it's free to apply. You just have to complete the basic generic information. And then once that application is submitted, we're going to require your transcripts from the schools that you've attended and your English language proficiency score before we give you an admissions decision. Once you are accepted, you will know your scholarships. So the moment you know that you've been accepted, you'll also know what scholarships you've received. And then if you choose to enroll in the institution, we'll personally walk you through the I-20 and visa process.
Thank you. Wonderful. Levin has a question. Levin, we would first like to know from which country are you from? He writes, if I have a diploma from my country, is it possible for me to take undergraduate program in campus under scholarship process?
Yes.
Right. And you have another question. I would be interested for PhD if you have affiliation with other institutions.
Yep. So we could definitely connect you with some other institutions for PhD programs.
Right. Thank you. Aaron, where and how I can find the scholarship information and the links?
Great. Yeah. So the scholarship information, Eduvate can actually provide to you a breakdown of what scholarships we have and what academic criteria there are for each scholarship, but there's no official link for it. It's not necessarily public information. And the scholarship information will be released to you the moment you fill out the application and complete that and get accepted. So the technical link for the scholarship would be the application itself, but to get more information about it, Eduvate can supply that to you.
Yes, Aaron, you can just connect with our team at RSR Global. We'll be able to help you in that, and we'll be providing more information, and we'll be helping in filling up the application if you are interested for any of the programs. Alina has a program question. Please, is transcript evaluation needed for international students?
Only if you're applying with university or college level credits. So if you're transferring from another institution, we will require it to get you course credit at the institution. If you're coming from a secondary education, high school level education, it is not required.
All right, thank you so much. So there's this question, somebody finds you very familiar and if you've been visiting Uganda for any session. So I guess.
I have not personally been to Uganda yet. I'd love to visit though. But I'm glad to know that I look familiar and maybe there's someone out there that looks just like me.
Right. Thank you so much, Brittany. It was wonderful. I guess there's one more question. We just take this last question. Please advise nursing, I think about the health care programs and nursing, she wants to know, Alina.
Yes, so we have nursing, we have health sciences, which covers all of the allied healths. And then we have biology and chemistry, which are tracks for pre-medical, pre-dental, and pre-veterinary. So specifically, if you wanted to go on to medical school, dental school, or veterinary school afterwards, you'd want one of those core sciences. But we also have health sciences, which is for all of the allied health, like occupational therapy, physical therapy. There's a lot that you can do within health sciences. And then we also have nursing. Then we have something entirely different called healthcare administration, which is the business side of healthcare. So a little bit different, but also something that's available.
We have few more questions before we conclude. I want to go into medical school.
Great. So you could apply for, I would suggest biology. That's the most common route for medical. And then we do a pre-medical track where we advise you throughout your whole time to make sure that you're on track for medical school when you graduate. We help you with the MCATs as well and preparing for that.
I think Joyce has another question. Do you have midwifery?
We do not have that as a technical program, but that would be a caveat of health sciences.
Aaron has one question, interest in studying in electrical engineering at BSc level. What are the requirements and criteria?
Great question. So electrical engineering is not offered as a major. The closest thing that we have in relation would be instructional design and learning technology, which that program is nice because it is a fast track program where you can get a master's in one additional year. but we do not have an electrical engineering bachelor's program.
So the last and the least question is, when is the application going to start? So I guess it's already on.
Yeah, it is live as of August 1st each year. So right now the application is live for this coming fall semester. And as of August 1st, the application will open up for next fall. But we are enrolling admissions, so the earlier you apply, the earlier you get a decision, and they're released on a rolling basis.
All right. For all the application queries, the team is going to reach to you directly. You can leave your, if you've not registered yourself and you've joined in with the link, then you can just leave your email address at the chat box. The team will reach to you and connect with you and let you know the process, the application, the scholarships, and everything that is there. The team will be able to help you out. So I would like to thank the speakers. Brittany, thank you so much for joining us today. And a special thank to Brittany and Chayan for taking the time to share such valuable insights with about Albertus Magnus College and the opportunities available for international students. And we look forward to have more such kind of sessions. And we will be sharing the recordings and the questions that have been answered with the participants who had registered with us. So thank you, everyone. And we look forward for more such informative sessions. Do keep watching RSR Global website and the pages, social media pages for more information. And please be in touch with the RSR Global team, and we will be able to help you and guide you through the whole process. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alnanda. I think it was a great session. Everyone have already gotten a lot of information about the campus and all the programs. In case, as you said, you have any additional information, want any additional information about any program, you can just reach out to RSR Global or Albertus as well, or you can check out our websites. Many information is present there. So I think you will get all your questions answered there as well. In any case, we also regularly have webinar as well. So in case you're interested, you can attend that as well. And that's all from my side. And I hope you all guys enjoyed. Have a great day.
Thank you, Chayan. Wish everyone a great evening. And you definitely can share with us the webinars that you have. And we would definitely we'll share it with our students who would love to join and understand about the program. Thank you, everyone, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you.